Hazings are supposed to be a harmless ritual. Not this one. It left one of us dead and me awake. Now I can't sleep. It wasn't supposed to end the way it did. We were at university, a drinking club. It had existed for centuries. I could have stepped in, done something, but I didn't. I reasoned it should be okay, but it wasn't. The police cleared us, and the dean didn't take any action. After university, life carried on for the rest of us. But I can't forget my inaction. Action when it could have made a difference, and I did nothing. Now my dreams are haunted by his face. If I sleep, I wake tired. So I try not to sleep. I try to survive on the bare minimum. I look older than I am, and I'm always tired. It affects every area of my life. My jobs when I am hired, my relationships, my ability to function. There is no respite from the tiredness or from my guilt. And I have tried everything. Meditation, swimming, focus-based hobbies. Nothing works. I don't think it's supposed to. So I've been exploring the unusual. I turned, as you can imagine, to the internet. It's funny how the things you think of suddenly appear as adverts, like the invisible waves are reading your mind. I'd been browsing through some pages, exploring chakras and parts of the body aligned with sleep, when a pop-up ad appeared. I normally don't click, I work in IT, but this seemed different. Trouble sleeping? Need to forget the past? In search of dreamless nights? We can help. I clicked. I was directed to a simple website. We provide what you seek. No number, no other links, but an address in Chester. The next day I took a train, and following the map on my phone, found an old building down off the main high street. The sound of the hubbub from the rest of the world seemed to fade. I pushed open the door and climbed the stairs to the first floor. "Come in," a voice rang out even as I laid my hand on the reception door. Dr. Malcor, sleep specialist and neurologist. Inside was a man in a lab coat behind a desk, writing in a large journal. He looked up briefly, smiled, made initial eye contact, and then looked back down, gesturing to a chair. "Adam, yes? And you can't sleep?" No, not for a while." He asked me some more factual questions. And then, the question I'd been waiting for. "Do you know what is keeping you awake?" I hesitated. I'd avoided discussing the hazing for so many years. I gulped. "Yes, it's because..." But to my surprise, he cut me off. "I don't need the details," he said smoothly. "Just to know that you know." He looked at me directly. It was as though he could see the images from that night without me saying a word. I couldn't look away. He moved over to a cabinet and got out a strange small bottle filled with a dark blue liquid. "If you drink this, you will know dreamless sleep." I was stunned. Everything I wanted in that small bottle. I reached for it, but his hand stopped me. "I should warn you," he began. "The price is..." "Oh, I can pay," I interrupted desperately. It's not money," he said lightly. "My supplier is..." He paused, choosing his words with care. "A precise individual. He requires a different kind of payment." He indicated the bottle. "By taking this, you will no longer experience the feeling you associate with guilt." He knew. He knew what I had done. He waved a hand dismissively. "I don't concern myself with the finer details of the transaction, only the outcome." He looked at me steadily. "The weight you describe will cease to present itself. Most people find that acceptable." He was still looking at me, unblinking. Was he assessing me wondering if I would challenge him for more details. I took the bottle. "I accept," I said. He smiled and got up. "That's wonderful. I assure you, you will sleep dreamlessly. Enjoy your rest." He broke eye contact with me. The air shifted slightly. Not cold, but not warm, like something tangible had been removed. I went home, and that evening followed the instructions. I drank the entire bottle before 10 p.m, waited 20 minutes, and then went to bed. The next morning, I woke. I actually woke from a long sleep. I couldn't remember anything about the night, but I felt different, lighter. At work, I was less aware of noise. I could hear people, their chatter, the whir of laptops, but it didn't affect me like before. It must be because, for the first time in over a decade, I finally felt rested. At lunch, I wandered into the coffee and tea area. I went to the fridge and grabbed a sandwich from in there. I tore off the wrapping and left it on the side. It was enjoyable. Pastrami and cheese on sourdough. Really good, I thought. "Hey!" a loud voice interrupted me. I felt annoyed. "What?" "That's my sandwich. Look, it's got my name on it." David showed me the wrapping I discarded. "So?" I was feeling annoyed that he'd interrupted my enjoyment. "Seriously? You just eat other people's food? Unbelievable. Don't do that again." And he threw me a dirty look as he walked off. Happy now that he'd gone, I continued eating the sandwich. I was aware of other colleagues looking darkly at me, but I didn't understand why. Like I said, it was a good sandwich. A few days later, I had a strange interaction with a friend while playing tennis. His backhand was clearly in, but only just, so I called out. He looked confused, but let it pass. I wanted to win the game, and I did. But he hasn't asked me to play again since. I genuinely don't understand why. I was sleeping so much better these days. I was feeling invincible. But I was noticing changes. Now, these changes didn't bother me, but they bothered other people. I wondered if I were going deaf, as I just couldn't hear them in the way I used to. But I also liked peace. It was a relief. Last night was the strangest one. I definitely didn't do anything wrong, I know that. I was walking back home, and a woman lost control of her little boy. He was running past me, and was nearly at the road when another man grabbed him just in time. "Geez, why didn't you stop him?" the man asked me, slightly out of breath. "You were nearer." I ignored him and walked on, as the mother gratefully sobbed and hugged the other man. I carried on walking home, relishing the quiet, dimly realising that my phone didn't light up with messages like it used to. Why would that passerby have expected me to do something? It makes no sense. Before bed that night, I looked at the empty bottle beside me. Empty now, I reread the fine print on the small label. "Caution, always advised. Effects are permanent." I don't feel any guilt anymore. It's been 7 months since my meeting with Dr. Malcor. I'm careful now. I watch people before I respond in social interactions. I wait to see what they do, what they say, how long they hesitate. I copy that. I mirror their behaviour so I don't stand out. When someone drops something, I pause, just long enough, and then I help. When a voice rises, I remember to look concerned. When silence is expected, I stay quiet. It's so tiring. Not like before, not bone-deep exhaustion. This is different. This is the tiredness of constant attention, of never letting up, keeping my mask in place. I still sleep dreamlessly, but I don't feel rested anymore. And I'm always alert. The bottle stays by my bed as a constant reminder. The only time I can be me is when I sleep. and I never remember those hours. Effects are permanent. They really are. Thank you for listening, and tune in next week for another story.